introduce us, and then we'll give our introductions. Then you count them down for the time.
You're live.
And...
You're live.
Hello. Welcome. We have Crusader of Centy for the Genesis, and Shintok and Cronin, who are going to do the commentary for me.
Howdy, howdy. I'm Shintok.
I'm Cronin. What's up?
Reset on our way here.
Yeah.
Technically, it's Ragna Centy. Use the Japanese version because much faster dialogue. Saves about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Other than that, both the games have the same tech. The text is much quicker in the Japanese version as usual for older speed runs.
Yep. So this goes by pretty quick. It starts off a little bit slower so we can explain stuff, but there are a lot of glitches and you won't be able to know what the dialogue is saying. That's why I have my handlers here. I'm ready to go. Go ahead and count you down. I'll do that. 3, 1, go.
Alright, good luck.
Luck.
So the start of this game is that it's the main character's birthday, and it's basically like a coming-of-age thing in this town where you take up arms on, I think it's like your 13th birthday?
14th.
14th birthday, okay.
14 candles there.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you talk to your family and your mother, and then you just wait for like fireworks to go off, and then you go talk to the king. Tells you what you got to do, and we're not going to do some of the stuff he asks. Because basically, he starts out asking you to get 3 medals for an upgraded sword, but that's completely optional. Is there if there's any time you can turn up your mic? Apparently, you're kind of quiet.
Yeah, okay.
So this guy's Amon, and we'll never see him again.
Yeah, he's basically like a pseudo rival of sorts, but I don't know. He doesn't really do anything. He's just kind of there. He shows up at one point later, but you won't see him in the run.
Okay, I hope that's a little bit better.
It's a total sequence break. And here's like we're gonna be doing a really big sequence break. Normally we're supposed to leave, and I forget what you're normally supposed to do.
Normally you're supposed to go and kill the wolf.
Okay, yeah. Normally you're supposed to go and kill a wolf, but instead of that, Chubbus is going to do some frame perfect inputs to get past this story barrier here to enter the fortune teller's house. And the fortune teller is actually going to curse you so that you can no longer talk to humans, but you can talk to animals now. And so if you try to talk to humans, they don't understand a word you say, and I don't think you can understand them either. I don't remember that part.
Yep, that's till you get to heaven and talk to.
Yeah, until you talk to God later. So here we're gonna go pick up our dog because he we've been good to him, so he's gonna be good to us and help us out. I don't think he does anything though, other than get your trust with an animal later.
It helps to do the second beast.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's actually required to enter God's.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because he finds the secret entrance or something like that.
Yeah.
So here he's gonna stand on this little thing that pops back up after you hit it. And it pushes him out of bounds, and he's going to collect 30 coins while staying out of bounds. There we go. And it just basically lets us skip a fight with this wolf monster that hits his head with a hammer to deal damage to you. And... oh, go on.
So he's going to talk to this rabbit here, and this is so he can get the jump ability. And the rabbit's like, I don't trust humans. And then... the dog says, well, I mean, he can speak our language, the language of animals, so you can trust him. And the rabbit's like, okay. Then he boots you, he kicks you onto the platform, and then the game says, you now have the courage to jump.
Yeah,
So
you always
can
had the ability to
jump.
jump, you were just never brave enough to.
Yeah.
Just needed the kick.
So now we're going to the Rafflesia Forest to learn the sword throwing ability. It's like a boomerang kind of attack where you throw it out and it comes back, and it costs 20 coins to learn. And then there's other stuff you can do here to get medals to get the upgraded sword, but we're not going to do that.
You can also
Completely unnecessary.
farm coins there. It used to be like rad because there are a couple other things that are barriers that you need coins for.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. So now we're
That's
going to
pretty
Hot
cheap.
Daisy. It's a very common theme that areas in this game are named after flowers. And here we're going to get another money bag for later.
And he's going to abuse the way the momentum works in this game by pushing against the way that he's being moved on like that kind of conveyor belt. So he can build up a lot of momentum and then jump out of it and then bunny hop basically to completely pass that lava pool.
Yeah, normally you're not supposed to be able to pass that, and you got to do a whole stage of things to get past this. And then this lets us just go straight to the second half of Hot Daisy. I think it's like Burn Daisy in the English release.
Otter
I just remember the Japanese names. I've seen it so much. And here we're going to go out of bounds once again to skip this entire dungeon. And just basically lets us go straight to the boss of this area. And this boss is he's kind of annoying, but he's an easy boss, but he can be really annoying in what he does. Basically, he splits into multiple identical looking guys. Like there's one that's obviously him, and you kind of have to trace him around, but if you lose track, generally you can find out which one he is, and he moves 4 times, and then you have to hit the correct one. And occasionally what he likes to do, just like right here, is he stands on top of another one, and if you hit the wrong one, you take damage instead, and you can waste a cycle. Like right there, he was just like right on top of the one, but luckily he moved out of the way, and Chubbus guessed correctly which one it was.
Guessed.
That's right, you knew. Because it's obvious. He's like, if you're unsure which one it is, he's always the one that has his arms crossed. But occasionally there are others that have their arms crossed as well.
Yeah, that's just all RNG.
Yeah. But like, if as long as you get the hits, this boss is very consistent. Oh, there you go. And you get, whenever you defeat a boss, you get a health upgrade, and this time we get the flying squirrel as our partner. I guess he was trapped by the dude. And then this place is Iris Village, I think.
Yeah.
And he just went out of bounds there, just as easily, just like climbing up ropes. You can just jump out of bounds. And
Is that
this whole dungeon section, or this whole maze section, that's kind of a pain to get through casually. You have to go through it multiple times for various side quests and stuff.
He's gonna be doing some damage boosts off enemies in this next part. Just to save a little bit more time.
Yeah, just to go fast. It's a bit risky if you take too much damage, so it's all about managing your health while still trying to go fast. And now here he's going to equip the flying squirrel, which has the ability to have his boomerang sword bounce off of walls. There you go.
So he's coming here to get another partner, which is huge help for a speedrun because he's a cheetah and makes you go fast.
Yeah.
But you have to beat the cheetah in a race. But fortunately, they give you a go-kart and kind of broken lap collision.
Yeah, so instead of doing the whole race, which is actually really easy, he just instead cheats the race and wins by cheating.
Yeah, they developed it that way.
Yeah, that's true. And so with the cheetah, you move really, really fast and your momentum gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, your abilities change based on the combination of the two pets you have out.
Yeah, and here he's going to jump out of bounds again. Normally what happens is you get turned into a slime for a little bit, and you have to solve a puzzle to turn back to a human. And in the meantime, the rival from earlier is like attacking all the slimes and will like go after you and stuff. But we can just skip all that. But now we're going to the animal village, or yeah, the village like where peaceful animals have congregated together, and there's Sonic, just there chilling out on the beach.
So there is like a chance isn't the right word, but there is a possibility for runners to skip having to jump on like the platform in front of the elephant's house, and just kind of like how you can get inside the fortune teller's house. You just get to the right position and then just run straight in and surpass like the little barrier blocking the door. But unfortunately,
Really
Chubbus didn't get it this time.
So, oh no, that's unfortunate.
I'll try it again.
Yeah, so Chubbus is here trying to do some swag where he can carry the rock through this. Normally you're supposed to like hit all these switches and go around this maze and open paths like by hitting switches and stuff. But he's going to use this rock to jettison himself all the way to the boss and just skip the entire dungeon.
God, it looks so good.
Oh yeah. So now he's just abusing momentum to let him jump all the way to where the boss is. It's wonderful. And here, basically what happened is that the penguin from that animal village was kidnapped by this octopus, and no one in the village is brave enough to try and save him. Or, no, the penguin went out to try to stop the octopus and got caught, and no one's willing to come and save him. So we go and do it ourselves, and the penguin joins us after seeing how brave we are. And I don't think the penguin is actually used at all on the run. It's just like a story trigger requirement.
No, you definitely
Right.
use them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, there are a couple times you use them for boss fights. He actually does.
Oh, right. That's right. He does the ice sword.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Duh.
In combination with the fire,
Doing it.
together with the fire, it technically does the most damage, but just depends.
Yeah.
Each boss has their own kind of weaknesses. But if it doesn't have any weakness, fire and
Right.
ice will always do more damage.
And now we're in the Camellia Desert, where we have these sand traps that just love to drag you around. And now he's doing a fancy sword trick to skip this.
No.
To skip the doing a puzzle there.
Covered it alright. That's a little scary.
So interesting
Oh, nice.
little fact with like those blocks here that kind of look like a letter. Like you saw that A there. This is kind of silly, but in the American version, it spells out ATL. I read it as Atlanta, and in the Japanese version, it's like
Art.
ART or APT. So either like art or apartment.
Yeah. Well, like
And,
they changed it to ATL for Atlas because Atlas was the publisher in the U.S.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually slower because you have to hit 2 blocks instead of 1.
Yeah, it's the weirdest change. And here he does like another like buffered throw to just skip another puzzle, and just lets us get out of the desert much quicker. And now we're going to the Tower of Babel, and we want to climb the tower, but there's only a rope that leads up. But it turns out the rope's not too happy about us climbing it. And here we're actually doing an RNG manipulation. He saves as he enters the room and resets the console, and it sets the RNG for this boss to always give a specific pattern as long as he does the same movements every time. And it's like slower than the fastest pattern you can get for this boss, but it's the most consistent way to fight him because he has 3 different attacks he does, and this is the one you want to do is where he shoots out these energy balls. And then he also has attacks where like he shoots his arms as like rockets at you, or where he swings them around the screen, and he can do that for minutes at a time if he chooses to. So wasting like 10 seconds to do an RNG manip is the better option.
Until the game gets insanely optimized, but
yeah, I don't think it'll ever reach that point.
Yeah.
No one's gonna want to grind for that. And do you get anything for killing him, or is it just like story
health
trigger?
refill.
Okay.
It's story trigger.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's it.
The next character here is Dippy. He's like in this little pond in the desert, and he's really happy to be there. But then I forgot. I think it's a squirrel that's like, "Do you really want to live in this little pond your entire life?
Yeah,
you don't want to help us like cross the ocean, and then fine, we don't like you. Let's get out of here." And then Dippy's like, "Wait, I'm depressed here."
In the Japanese version, his name is Cassie, but they changed it to Dippy in the US release. And if you're familiar with this developer, they made another game on the Saturn called Link: A Liver Story, where Cassie makes an appearance there. So just some sort of like tying of the universe, or at least a nod to fans. So here he's doing another like pause buffer sword swing to set up another trick, basically just to clear out that block that you normally can't clear. And so he went down there to set his last position, and he walks with Cassie, because Cassie or Dippy lets you walk on the ice without sliding, but it also gives you the property of not updating your last position. So when he falls into the pit, it goes to his last position, but he also offsets him to be out of bounds. And now we're fighting the Omelet boss. His boss is literally named Omelet. And basically you just keep swapping your sword elements from fire and ice to damage him. Depending on his color, you do the opposite damage. And... Huh?
I'm pretty smart. Guess I'm a little ahead, though.
Oh. And we wanted to exit the stage before the cutscene plays after you defeat the boss. If you let the cutscene play, it takes you to another part of the dungeon where it's like an underwater section, and there's another boss you fight that's actually, it's a pretty cool section. But in the effort of going fast, you just want to get out of the dungeon as fast as you can.
Yeah, at best if you do the other dungeon, that's a 2-minute time loss.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna climb the vine, the seed that we got actually from the Ice Temple, off the Tower of Babel, into the heavens.
Yep.
Like the literal heaven.
Going to heaven, where everybody here lives in peace and harmony. You can talk to them. They're just like happy about being there. There's even a chicken there, and he's a pretty swell guy. And now he's going to do another RNG manip here, and hopefully he gets it, where there's these bees that are flying around, and they're kind of jerks. They just kind of fly around and knock you around, get in your way, kind of annoying. But we're going to use that to our advantage, because with the way the dog works, you can hold... It's like you can hold an enemy in place, and then you can do some weird stuff where the bees can carry you.
Yeah. The bees actually don't do damage to you at all, but they move you around, and you can use that to your advantage by freezing them.
Nice. So that's the first one down. And there's one more time where he has to hope the bees will be willing to carry him to the goal. So he's just kind of luring them around to... Ooh, okay, you got it? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So basically, he just skipped a bunch of stuff in this short dungeon. Now he's gonna refill his health, jump off there, and for whatever reason, it takes you to the end of this section, which is like a puzzle of sorts where you use the dog to sniff out the path. I believe that's what it was. I don't remember. I did it the wrong way, casually.
Oh no!
I tried to swag strat that I almost got, but
oh dang!
That's all good.
So now here we have to hit these 4 switches to spawn the boss, and it's a giant dragon sort of thing with like a sword and shield. And normally the dragon like blocks your attacks. You have to wait for like an opening to deal damage, but if you attack him from behind, you can just do free damage to him.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy.
Now we can talk to humans again.
Nice. Yeah, and the dragon just kind of flies off into squares. It's great.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun.
So this is a point where after you fight the dragon, you talk to the door, or the voice beyond the door, which is apparently God, and God was, let's see if I can remember this right, he's like annoyed at humans for like killing monsters, and he gives you he wanted okay, messing this up. He wanted you to like figure out the truth behind the reality, like the
Why the
history,
monsters are here.
why the monsters, why it's so bad that humans are killing the monsters. And he basically says you gotta search your own heart to find the truth and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he says that he's gonna change the reality of this world now. So like you start seeing snow in this village, and there's gonna be some other funky stuff that's gonna happen. So God's pissed, and you gotta get right with God. In this little villa, you talk to the grandmother, and she says how she actually went into like a cyclone, and she ended up in the past and saw her own grandparents as children, and it was really freaky to her. But she had some magic shoes which brought her back into the present. So we're going to listen to that story and treat it literally and take a tornado into the past.
And Jerk Flower wants 50 gold from us, and he doesn't actually want it, but he just wants it to take it away from us. And here we're gonna go out of bounds again with Dippy. Oh. No. Dang.
It's okay. I did save just now.
Okay.
It's
nice.
like the hardest trick in the game to be consistent with. It's very difficult. Sometimes the subpixels don't let you.
Instead of magic, you have animal companions that do different things. Nice. Nice. Second try. And it's just basically skipping a lot of stuff. So now we're gonna talk to this armadillo fella here. I think he's like looking for, he's building a dam or something. I forget.
Yeah.
Or no, they're building a house.
Oh, house. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it tells you where their mate is, and I forget like which one's the husband, which one was the wife. And then you go grab the other one, you go grab the shoe. You get the armadillo, and then you can use the armadillo to stand on areas you normally can't walk on.
And clip into.
Yeah, you'll see that. And so now we get the shoes to go back to the present. Oh. Okay, nice. There you go. And basically it used to be before where you just did some very precise jumps to get all the way over here, if I recall. And instead of doing that, now you just clip through it.
Actually, a few different methods. Yeah, you can just go on Dippy, and write it all there, and
yeah,
it's not that slow. But then there was a momentum jump you could armadillo, which was pretty swag looking.
I remember the memento jump.
I like that one.
So now we're back in the Camellia Desert, but this time we're going to not an abandoned city, but it's like derelict. No, not derelict. It's like a crumbling city, and people are being locked away for having knowledge of something. I don't remember what now, but we get thrown in jail normally, if I recall. That in the run you don't. Yeah, normally you get thrown in jail, but in the run we just skip all that and go out of bounds. Because instead of going to jail, you just go out of bounds and skip right to the end of the dungeon. There you go. Yeah, and using the armadillo allows you to clip out of bounds where normally you'd need like a block or something.
Oh, so the people are locked up because they're being accused of being monsters, and they're also accusing each other so that they don't get arrested.
Yeah, so you accuse someone else to save yourself.
Alright.
Classic.
And so there's this chameleon boss who's like pulling all the strings or something like that. I'm trying to remember the story. I just played this like a couple months ago too.
Yeah, the chameleon here is like, oh, it's
nice,
all my
got a
fault.
run cycle on it.
But he hints at like destroying monsters isn't going to solve anything. You have to fix the real problem, which is in people's hearts.
And now we get like a really useful animal, the Moa, which upgrades. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one that upgrades your other animals, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes your other animals more powerful as long as you have the Moa equipped with that other animal. So you just like run crazy fast with the cheetah.
Just to backtrack just a little bit, it's kind of ironic that the chameleon says you cannot fix other people's hearts, considering a fight that we're going to be doing fairly soon.
Yeah. And then here we go pick up the dodo. And I forget what the dodo does because I don't remember using it that much.
Well, it allows you to grab.
Oh
this.
yeah, it lets you grab objects with your sword.
Yeah.
And here we run into the puppet master, who's just doing his own thing. I don't remember if he's like actually doing anything.
I think the only thing he did was like he made this dungeon area.
Right.
Like he's just a master of this area, and he likes using his puppet to like be a jerk.
Yeah, that's right. So like the way this fight works is he'll send down his puppet, you destroy his puppet, it just goes into pieces, and then he'll try to collect his puppet pieces, and you have to hit him while he's doing that. And this was a really solid fight. You can get him down in one cycle, right?
But basically, he doesn't do it RNG. He actually has that limbs that he goes for, like in order, and you can't tell the difference between the left and right limbs, so it's effectively RNG 50-50 those, but like the head and armor, those are exposed. They're there. But cycle.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Cycle is.
Okay. So now we're going back to the animal village, where a new monster has been plaguing them, and no one's really willing to do anything about it because everybody wants to be a pacifist. They don't want to be aggressive like the humans. And one guy is like, no, I want to do something about it. And he's like, will you help me? And so we go talk to one of the village elders, and they're like, nah, we're not going to help. Or we talk to all the villagers and try to recruit them, and no one's willing to help us. They're all too afraid or just unwilling. And the monkey is just like, well, I guess I'm on my own. But we're gonna go help them. This boss is kind of weird in how you access it. There's like a specific spot you have to stand on, but it's not really obvious where it is.
Yeah, it's really nuts.
Yeah, like I had to actually pull up your run to figure it out when I was playing casually. But this guy is interesting. You just hit him with the sword swipes. He then multiplies and just keeps multiplying. And the more you hit him, and it gets really laggy. And every time you hit him, with like you have like the dodo and the lion out, so you have fireballs that come out every time you hit the enemy, and it just causes a lot of lag. But the fireballs can do extra hits. Yeah.
Chubbus found like I think it was a soft lock, right? He found a soft lock recently with that fight where Not sure how it happened, but basically, like, he was fighting him, and Baron is the name, like, was rolling in the very top line. Chubbus falls off in the water, then he teleports into the middle top onto Baron, so maybe that did it. But anyway, the roly-poly just like flies off the left platform, like left off the platform, just right into the corner, never comes back.
Pretty amusing, but also a soft lock. I was hoping that didn't happen again.
Yeah, it was just the strangest thing. So talk to all the elders. They're like, yeah, we can see that you're on our side, and blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and gives us like some information on where to go next.
Nice wobble tech there.
Yeah. So now we're gonna be we're in the past again, if I recall right.
Yeah, every time we go into a cyclone, we're going to the past.
Right. So now he's trying to go out of bounds again. This time to get to a different part of the dungeon, and it's really finicky. He's like, sometimes it just can say no.
So yeah, this entire mountain, like at the very beginning of the game, and now is a monster actually.
Yep. And it's like the mother of all monsters, if I recall.
Yeah. Or Mom, for short.
Yeah. There you go, you didn't soft lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing some of these out of bounds tricks, it can be really easy to just go a little bit too far and accidentally go into a spot where you can no longer return in bounds.
Live your life on the seams.
Yeah. And here we're gonna destroy it. We're gonna ruin Mother's heart, break her heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think she's dead.
Shh.
And then we get that horn, which I think just takes us back to the present, right?
Obviously some story trigger, but I'm not totally sure.
I can't remember. It's just like, this far in the game, it's like kind of fuzzy, even though it's like the last thing I did. But now we're going to the past again, into our hometown Soleil, which is coincidentally the name of the European release. And they're freaking out because there's some monsters in the castle. And they're getting chased out as we were coming to see what's up.
This is probably like the critical like point in the plot where if you haven't been paying attention, everything kind of flips on its head. So
Yeah.
you follow the monsters into the church, and they're just saying, why are they chasing us? We didn't do anything wrong. Like, we just want to live. And they're just trying to, we want to talk with the king about it, you know, and just live normal lives, and they're trying to kill us. And so, you know, you listen to their story, and you're like, go on, because whatever, you get it. You know,
Yeah, we got our own problems.
And then the soldiers outside is like, okay, I'm not scared of them anymore. Let's go. And they'll go inside the church, and then if you go inside the church later, you'll find all the monsters dead. And the soldier will be like, why didn't they fight back? I think one was crying.
Yep.
Pretty dark.
So yeah,
Bad.
all the monsters in this game, like, you know, they have souls. They're sentient beings. And that's what the god of this game wanted humans to understand. But they can't understand. So you're going to do something about it anyway. Or we are. But yeah, this is coming up here in the final dungeon. It's a cave underneath the lake in the middle of the world.
Wow.
This is basically where the monsters came from originally.
Flip into there doesn't normally happen. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, that is bizarre. You want to reload you want to save and reload?
Maybe.
So basically, this cave is normally like a bunch of puzzles you have to do. Like the first one you have to do is like create a ditch for the water to fill that hole there, so you can cross it with Dippy. And then like there's some stuff here where you have to throw the sword around and hit the switches that you normally can't reach.
Yeah, that's annoying. Once that happens, it's really hard to recover for some reason. I don't know exactly what happens.
Maybe your subpixels just get messed up.
I don't know.
You just get out of alignment. But yeah, it's actually a really clever puzzle, this one right here, when you do it casually. There you go, this time you got it.
I'll make sure I don't self-lock it. Okay.
There you go. Now we're going back in between the seams just to skip all the puzzles in this game. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, all you do is just reload, or load a save, and everything went real smooth.
Yep.
So now at this point, we find out in the lore that a meteor had fallen on Earth and like opened a dimension for like monsters to enter, like be sucked into this world that they didn't want to be in. And now we're like fighting the five senses. And then, so basically, first one is touch, I think. No, it's not touch. That's like
Smell. Smell.
Oh, smell. Okay, smell, then taste, and then sight, touch.
Yeah, and the final boss is spirit energy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the sixth sense.
One health there.
Yeah, and too bad those apples don't heal you.
Yeah, right?
And yeah, at this point of the game, it can get kind of scary because none of the fights heal you. You just kind of have to deal with it. Yeah, totally ripped off from Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
So each of the hands have their own health bar, and you just have to damage them down. It's pretty easy. But
Problem with resetting or saving and then resetting there is my health. So I'm at that health pool from all those mess ups there.
And so the sight boss is actually kind of cool. You have to like reveal the floor and to find out where he is and damage him. But you can still hit him like when you can't see him. But yeah, things are looking pretty solid. And then the hearing boss, which is like really annoying. It's like he just kind of runs around and then like makes the floor all slippery and then disappears and you try to not slide into the spikes. Oh yeah, that went real smooth.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, I abuse a lot of mechanics.
Yeah. So basically, he's just like swapping his swapping his weapon type multiple times to get a lot of hits in. Basically, you're supposed to hit him with a specific type of combination, and then you go in and swing an attack and deal damage, and then you rinse and repeat. But what he's doing is he's just getting a ton of hits in at the same time to avoid having to do that multiple times.
Yeah, it also skips second fate, closes his eyes.
Very nice. And time will be coming up soonish.
About a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
So with
go on.
With that, I'm not sure why the spirit energy is like blocking the portal to like the monster world. But anyway, we defeat it, and now all of the monsters are sucked back in the portal, back into the underground. And this is in the past, so in the present, everyone forgets about monsters. Even the monsters forget. Nobody remembers. Everything is basically solved. Humans never ended up growing fond of monsters and cooperating with them. You just lock them away.
Yeah, they go back to their own world where they came from. And then also, like, there's no more ritual here of now of like becoming a soldier at 14. And the statue changes. Yeah, GG.
GG. You just talk with your girlfriend at the end there.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you're gonna go for a walk with your dog? Oh, be sure to wait for me." Basically what she says, and then we just ditch her anyways.
It was a little bumpy there, but I showed everything.
Yeah,
off.
very solid run. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks for having me, y'all. That was fun.
Do you want to know your time?
39:26.
Yep.
Well, excuse me.
That's about expected. I had to reset times. It's still underestimate. That's why I put it at 40.
Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, I highly recommend this game just as a casual experience. If you like Zelda type games, this game's really good. Despite everything Chubbus said done to break the game is actually pretty tough to break casually. Like you have to go out of your way to break the game.
I mean, this speedrun has developed so much in the past like year. A lot of people have been working on it, so it is quite a solid game. I love it, and I also really just glitches. I think the glitches are awesome.
Yeah, it's wonderful just watching it. And the soundtrack's amazing too. There's a lot of amazing pieces in this game. There's even some that you didn't hear in the run.
Yeah, they're really catchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for having us. Follow Chubbus. He streams sometimes. But I expect him to see Crusader of Centy still. Maybe some other Genesis games as well.
Oh, definitely. I gotta get that world record back. But yeah, thanks for having us, everybody. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the marathon.